Yeah, so sorry about that. I think I was muted, but I hope everybody's been doing good. You know, December is rolling around. We're finally back into the swing of things with shows. After moving and just kind of getting everything up and running, we've been kind of on a hiatus. So we're finally getting that back up and running again for you guys. I know a lot of people have been sending emails and stuff, wondering where we've been, what's been going on with us. But I assure you, everything's fine. Just kind of life and the swing of things, getting back into it. So we're doing that now. Middle of December now. Shows are going to be kind of on hiatus until January. We're lucky that we got a few guests coming on before that break happens. 26 is going to be pretty fast, and we're going to be having a lot of shows coming up. So I appreciate everybody hanging in there. Hope everybody's having a great Friday. We are, getting into it real quick. My birthday is coming up pretty soon, so that's going to be another big thing. We finally hit the big 4-0, so that's kind of sad, but also, I guess, cool in a way, I guess. I don't know how to feel about that. But yeah, so that's what's going on there. Yeah, I mean, get back into the introductions of things here, just as usual. Welcome back to the show. We are coming to you from the greatest country in the world, the great Republic of Texas, deep in the heart of the Lone Star State, Dallas, Texas, more specifically. If you guys aren't already subscribers, please consider smashing that subscribe button for us. That'll really help us out. Make sure you also click that icon, that little bell icon up there as well, so you guys never miss an episode in the future. Also, don't forget to smash a like button. That'll really help us out as well with the algorithms. If you are on the go, as always, especially now that we're coming up to the holidays and people are traveling, you can check us out on Spotify, Google Podcasts, which I think is going away, as well as iHeartRadio and Amazon Music at Truth Defender Podcast. If you love what we do here on the show and you're feeling generous, consider sharing the show with a friend, family member, or colleague. It would really help us out a lot. Questions, as always, for myself, our guests, as well as guest or topic recommendations that can be sent over to the Truth Defender 1776 at gmail.com. You can also follow us on all our social media, X, Kick, Instagram, Rumble. We got a link tree as well with everything. You can follow us on Instagram. There's a couple of them that we got up and running. Also, a new development that we just had as well. You guys can also check us out now. We are a proud affiliate of the Spiritual Awakening International program. Spiritual Awakening International is a nonprofit organization, worldwide network of individuals and groups interested in collaborating to raise awareness, networks, share personal experiences relating to spirituality, transformative experiences. So that kind of runs the gamut. Near-death experiences, mystical experiences, psychic, intuitive experiences, all that kind of stuff. We were lucky to be affiliated with them. I think it was early November. I had a conversation with them, Dr. Yvonne Cason, Robert Barr, PhD. They're the ones who are the president and vice president of the group. Had a great conversation with them as well. They were very gracious to have us on board. So I'll have a link to their website as well, where you can find a bunch of affiliates all over the country, all over the world. Basically, if you have experiences, this, especially when it comes to like near-death experiences, they got groups for those. You can do them online as well. Support groups and stuff. You guys can go in there and talk with them, get it off your chest. You can share anything that you guys have going on. So yeah, that's really helpful. I really, really appreciate them bringing us on. They were gracious enough to do that for us. So I really appreciate that. But yeah, so Linktree and everything is linked down below in the show notes. So if you guys can stop in there and check everything out with us. So we'll get back to this here. First guest back, early December here, mid-December almost. Very gracious to take time out of his Friday evening to hang out with us, as well as all of you. I really appreciate that as well. It's Mr. Chris Berryman. Chris Berryman started writing stories and poems in elementary school and loves the process to this very day. Reading and writing are both immersive acts he finds an integral part of life. By high school, another storytelling medium swept him away, that of theater and film. Still works in this world through his company, Detroit Theater Collective. And he's here today to speak with us. Mr. Berryman, how you doing, sir?
Good. Thanks for having me, Paul.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you taking the time, like I mentioned, to hang out with us on a Friday. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, so we appreciate that. Yeah, so you were mentioning, we were speaking off camera here, that you're actually up in Detroit, and we were kind of joking about the cold and all that kind of stuff. And for people that are here in Texas, you know, weather is kind of a weird thing for us. At least you can count on it just being unbearably cold up there all the time. Here, like, it rains, people lose their mind and know how to drive in rain. Up there, you guys got snow and ice and all that kind of stuff. So it's, at least you can kind of set your watch to that every year. So
Absolutely, yes. It's good. It's cold now. It's only going to get colder, so we know that.
yeah. So it's fun, but at the same time, like I mentioned, we kind of fluctuate throughout the week. It was cold at the beginning of the week, and now we're in the 70s. And I'm sitting here with the air conditioner on because it's hot. So yeah, we had the heater on this morning, the heater on yesterday, but yeah, it's crazy weather. Yep. So I mean, as I mentioned in the intro here, you have a theater that you actually go through, that you actually have up and running.
Yeah.
Can you speak a little bit about that and like what you do? Do you guys do like plays, or how does that whole?
Sure. So it's called Detroit Theater Collective. It's something that I founded with a group of friends about a little more than 10 years ago. And we're sort of a pop-up, we're a little bit more experimental in what we do. And we use a lot of multimedia, but we're focused, I call it the outer limits of realism is what we produce. So we produce plays and theater works, and we sort of do it wherever we find spaces to produce these shows on. Yeah, so that's something we do on an ongoing cycle, kind of, I guess you'd say.
Sure. Is it like traveling? Are you guys just kind of based out there mostly?
I'd love to travel. I'd love to tour. That would be awesome. Right now, we're just sort of doing it here, but I think that would be a lot of fun to take a show on the road or take it to a festival or something. So perhaps in the future, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's cool. It's I've always, I guess, kind of been amazed at people that can get up on stage and just kind of let it all out. For the longest time when I was growing up, I was not a very good public speaker. I used to stutter a lot, like a lot when I was little. And it's just kind of one of those switches that you have to flip in your head, that you're just like, oh, I'm just going to do it. And then you get up and do it. For me, it was always like a mental thing. Like I mentioned, I would stutter like horrendously when I was younger. One day I was just like, I'm just going to do it. Let's just see what we can do. And especially when COVID hit, for a lot of people, I'm sure it was like the biggest time for podcasts exploding. I think there was some kind of study where it was like 35,000 podcasts started during COVID. And I was like, you're sitting at home, obviously, like everybody else. And I was like, well, I've always had an interest in certain topics that I really liked, and let's just kind of do it out of boredom. And I started talking to people more and more. Obviously, when you speak to a lot more people, you kind of get over your fear of public speaking here and there. But yeah, it was just kind of one of those times, and here we are.
It was an amazing time. A lot of things happened, and now you have your own show, so that's cool.
Yeah, we try. It's definitely not as consistent as I would like to be. Work, and obviously when you do it like as a hobby, it's more of a, if this was my job, we'd obviously be like a whole thing. But you do have a job, and then also do this on the side, so it's not as much as I would like it to be. But yeah, we're trying to get there. So it's definitely like in the process, and we're starting to get recognized more and more, and we're becoming affiliates of all these great groups and stuff. And so we're putting in the work. So
yeah, that spiritual awakening network,
international,
amazing.
Yeah, it's a great group. I mean, it was started by Dr. Yvonne Cason. She's like a family physician, be a cop and detective who had like a near-death experience. And that was like the whole process of them getting that up and running, speaking to people that have gone through the same thing. They have a great group organization as well, where they work with veterans. You know, like a lot of them who've obviously been through some crazy things when they were in near-death experiences, or just anything that's kind of traumatizing. They have groups for that as well. So that was like a no-brainer for me, and you know, try to bring people in for that specifically. But there's like a lot of other stuff that they do, so it's great. It's a great thing. You know, they have groups and stuff like that every week where they all get together. It's kind of like I guess like Alcoholics Anonymous. I guess it's kind of like that feel.
Oh, it
You know,
has like
everybody,
a 12-step. Okay.
something like that. But it's like they all get together and they like talk about their experiences and things that they went through, and you know, it's all very. You can go in person, but they have a lot of them online, which is great. So you don't have to go anywhere; you can just stay home and do it. For a lot of people, that's great.
Wonderful. Yeah, I think that will help a lot of people sort of sort out their experiences and what they've been through.
Yeah. So it's, I mean, it's one of those things where, you know, people, especially when it comes to like paranormal kind of things that they've experienced in their life, you know, a lot of people are kind of afraid to say anything out loud for fear of being mocked and stuff.
I absolutely think that's true. I think that we're starting to move into a time that where people are, you know, there's not as much backlash maybe, but there still is some, and it still happens in surprising ways. Yeah, I think that, you know, sometimes people have these awakening experiences, and then they're different. They've changed, you know, and then it's difficult. I think it can be painful to try to just, you know, fall back in line, fall back into the status quo of everything else too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's rough for people. That's like the whole thing. There is, you know, when it comes to the, you know, topics like UFOs and paranormal stuff, I'm sure there's stories out there that have never been told just because of that fear. They don't, you know, they don't want to be made fun of, which is unfortunate.
Right.
Because we could all like probably benefited from, well, you know, all kinds of stories, but you know, these groups, they legitimize it because there's a lot of, like I mentioned, doctors and PhDs that are part of the group, that are heading the group. So it gives it a little bit more of a, I guess it's more like, it's not like rah kind of like spooky kind of Halloween ghost kind of stories. It's actually more legitimate because, you know, they're actual doctors and psychiatrists that are part of the groups and they help out. So it gives it a little more validation that way. So
yeah, I think that would be a tremendous support, you know, just to, with a doctor there of any, you know, or a therapist or any kind of, just to sort out, you know, I might need some of that myself.
Yeah, well, I mean, you go to like a, I guess, normal kind of psychiatrist and say like, oh, I see aliens. They're gonna be like, what the hell? Like, you're gonna, you know, but like you actually have people that are part of that kind of group, and they're like, you know, actually familiar with it as well because they've had experiences. So
yeah, God knows
what drugs
they put you on if you they think you're hallucinating, you know.
Yeah, it's rough. It's so that you know, that helps for a lot of people. So hopefully we get past that point where it's not a crazy thing you see online. But yeah, that's what we're shooting for. But yeah, so I mean, we obviously talk about the theater aspect of your early life. Now, at what point and how do you kind of cross over to more of like the spiritual realm and, you know, maybe like extraterrestrial kind of stuff? I mean, past experiences that you've had, or is it just something you've always kind of been interested in passing? How did that whole thing work?
Well, I'd say since like my 20s, maybe my mid 20s, I've been interested in mystical things. And, you know, I took courses and workshops and went on some retreats and studied psychic work, you know, sort of like psychic practices and tarot and meditation and things like that. But I never really, I had read some books about it. I was open-minded to the whole extraterrestrial or extra dimensional phenomena. I thought it
Right.
was fascinating. I thought it was interesting. I think it was something I believed was very possible, but I didn't really move into that until the right before the pandemic. I'd say 2019, and that's when what triggered it is when I started having these sensory experiences, where I would see uh, geometry. I think it started with, I guess, what you'd call geometry and intricate geometry, shapes and symbols and
Right.
things like that. But then it also moved into strange machinery that I was seeing,
Like
particularly at
machine
night.
elves and that kind of stuff.
What's that?
Like the whole machine elves kind of topic. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, where it's like not DMT that you take, but like DMT in your sleep, where you're seeing like
Okay.
fractal
It
patterns and
probably was similar.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
probably similar to
yeah.
that. What at least it appeared that way. The
Mhm.
first thing I saw was like a strange windmill machine that I'd never seen before. But this led to seeing craft and seeing what looked like flying saucers and light particles and what I'd call portals that were opening up, like circular portals. And eventually I started seeing eyes and in
Mhm.
faces of beings that some of them were human and some of them were definitely not human. And it freaked me
Right.
out a little bit, but a teacher encouraged me that I knew, Elaine. She encouraged me to, just don't be scared, stay with it. And so eventually I had to make a long story short, eventually I had an experience where I felt this surge upward, and it felt like a warm feeling, like I was getting five Reiki sessions at the same time. That's kind of the way I describe it. And
Right.
I saw a control panel and a window with a desert landscape, and I saw hands, like perhaps non-human hands, and I saw some other really interesting things, and it was like a warm feeling, a positive feeling, and I started hearing music as well. So it was almost like my consciousness, or I guess you could say my astral body, kind of got pulled up into what seemed like a spaceship. And
Mm.
then that led to other experiences, and finally I just reached out and started talking to these visions, and when I would see these beings, and a conversation opened up, and that was the foundation for my first book, which is called Flying Saucer Visions. It's a illustrated for ages 10 and up, and also the continued deepening conversation led to my upcoming book, which is called the N-1 Sessions. Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
kind of in a long to make a long story short, that's kind of how it went down.
Sure. Yeah, it's those kind of, I guess they would be um what they would classify as DMT kind of trips, for lack of a better word or more scientific word. But you have dreams, I guess, for a lot of people like myself that have actually experienced that, is where you have dreams where it's a lot of repetitive kind of slow motion images, when like sayings, like you hear words like over and over again repetitively, and you see kind of like fractal patterns,
Hmm.
and it's very slow and it's very kind of trippy. And I used to have a lot of those when I was growing up, but it's one of those things, especially when you have conversations with people that have had like out of body experiences. But one of like the main things that they speak about, we've actually had one of our old guests, Preston Dennett, been out of his body many times. Is that just that fear of letting go for the first time? Like you get up to that edge, like you just want to back out, or like you want to wake up, but you just kind of let yourself go. That's always been the hardest part. Like I've been up to that edge many times where it's just like I'm ready to go, but I just
Oh, you
can't,
mean
like,
to have a
to
out of
like
body.
go out of your body experience. Yeah, yeah. So you get up to that edge where you're just like, I guess it's kind of like into one of those experiences where like you, when you're asleep and like you fall and like you jerk out
Yeah.
of it. So you kind of get up to that very edge, but you let yourself kind of go back to sleep. Is there anything I can kind of compare that to? I'm aware, like in my mind, and I know that if I go back to sleep in my head, like something's gonna happen, and I always like force myself to
So
like.
do you think there's like some fear involved in either going out of body or going into sleep when you're doing this, or
Yeah,
or
so
not?
that's I guess that's the fear. I guess it's just the unknown. Like I don't know
Yeah,
what
yeah,
happens
yeah.
after that. Like
With
I'm
that experience I was describing, I didn't. It just was happening so fast. I was just like, oh, here we go. Something's going on. So it just happened.
yeah.
So it felt like there was some other force involved.
Okay, okay.
That was sort of doing it. I can't say for sure, like that's just what my experience was, and then
Yeah.
it led to a communication
Okay.
eventually. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's how it unfolded for me. But it's different. I think there's such a variety in experiences for different people.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if it's definitely, I guess when you kind of do it on your own and when it's just kind of dependent on you, kind of letting go on your own, that's like a whole different thing. But if it's being done to you, then there's
Yeah,
not much you can do about it after that.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
it's
That's true.
definitely, it's one of those things where like I said, I've been to the very edge many times, like willingly and unwillingly, and I just can't. It's been like years that I just can't like just let go. And like I mentioned, one of our past guests, he's always just like, just let go, like just let go and you'll be fine. Whatever. I'm just like, no, I'm not gonna, what if I don't wake up anymore? It's one of those things where
No, I think you're
you know.
safe. I do think you're safe. So this is something that you're practicing then, and
So you can like there's two ways to go about it. Like I've definitely had instances where I don't plan on any of it. It just happens. I get to that point, like when you're asleep, and a lot of people can actually, I guess, meditate for it, and then they can push themselves to that point and
yeah,
actually
yeah.
do it.
And you can do
Yeah.
the same
So,
sort of with the lucid dreaming too, right?
right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely.
Learn a little bit about.
Yep. So it's all kind of a weird process. I mean, I'm sure there's people that know how to get to those points, and I've never like actually studied it. It's just something that's kind of happened naturally for me, not willingly. And I just kind of go based off of, like I mentioned, our guest experience, because he does it willingly, and he's kind of like, this is how you do it, and you got to meditate this way and do this kind of breathing, blah blah blah. And I've tried like once, and I got up to that point, and I just couldn't do it. Still, I just can't let go.
Well, if you want to do it, keep doing it. I know it. Maybe if you just take a little break and come back, I'm sure it'll happen. I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure of it. Yeah.
it's pretty freaky stuff. Especially you haven't done it, but that's everybody's issue. That's everybody's problem. Like just getting to that point, and there's nothing that can help you do it. You just have to let go and do it. And a lot of people just can't. We all have that same fear of just like, what if I don't come back, or what if I don't wake up?
Right.
Yeah, it's just one of those things you don't know.
It is a bit scary. I understand how it's scary. How people might be.
Yeah.
Afraid. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
With all the experiences that people are having now, like it's like this group that you have, that support group, just processing it all, kind of like you're talking through your experience right now. That just feels really important because and I think like the in-person thing sounds more inviting to me. You can do it on things like Reddit or whatever, or do it online. I think that helps, but just being able to actually talk it through and have an in-depth conversation about it is that feels like it's that's extremely important. And I'm glad that there's more and more things popping up like that.
It helps, definitely, to do it in person. I'm the same way. Like if it's something like that, it's great to have conversations with people face to face, and you kind of sit and chat about things like that. The meetings that they do online, they're like over Zoom, so there's like a whole bunch of them in there, and they all take turns and stuff like that. But it makes it a little more comfortable for people because they're like in their home and they don't have to be out in front of people, and they can just be in their kind of space and all that kind of stuff, which is fine. But I'm on the same boat. I'd rather be like in front of people, and it really helps them because it makes them feel validated, like what they're saying like actually happened, because there's other people that have seen the same thing, or there's other doctors in the room that they've spoken to people that have dealt with the same things, or they've dealt with them themselves. So it just makes it all seem a bit, or makes it more real for people. Like, well, I don't have to hide what I think or what I saw because these people are going to make fun of me. That really helps for a lot of people. So it's great, but
Yeah,
it's we're just trying to get to a point where it's just like common knowledge. Like it's just
yeah,
like,
right.
it happens,
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
That'll,
rough
I
because a
think
lot of
that'll
people.
happen eventually. Is it's more and more, people come forth to talk about it. There's going to be more. I think there'll be more shows about it, more films about it, and it's something really interesting is coming together in the world.
Yeah.
We'll see where. I guess we'll see where it takes us, but it feels like there's something exciting happening.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely ramping up. We're living in some crazy times ever since. I mean, we've always been kind of flying by the seat of our pants, but ever since COVID happened, like it's just felt in the last 5 years that like shit hits the fan like regularly now than before, but there's always something going on.
Oh yeah,
But yeah,
it's a real yeah, like the world's kind of on fire, isn't it?
yeah, it definitely seems that way now. I don't know if it's just that people just never stopped to notice because they've obviously got a lot of things going on in their lives, and it's just one of those things that if nothing happens to you, you don't really pay attention to it. Like it's a lot of people that you would speak to that I guess would be like more mainstream, or they wouldn't stop to think twice about it. But once COVID happened, the world stopped. A lot of people just kind of recalibrated and took a step back, and then they started kind of realizing more and more things were happening around them, like in a good and bad way. But it
Yeah,
was kind
yeah,
of a blessing in disguise, kind of, I guess. And obviously, all the people that got sick and died, that's a horrible thing. But it gave the rest of the world a chance to kind of take a step back and kind of notice what was going on in the world. So that was
yeah. I think
great.
so too. And it's just the digital technology has allowed us to, is allowed this connection, like what we're doing right now, and
Right.
just this immediate information at all times. But it seems like it's also created a lot of volatility too. So that whole using the technology, and with the AI coming in now so forcefully as well, it just feels like we're going to need to sort of sift through this and relearn how to live with these, both the benefits that the technology offers and also the dangers.
Yeah. Well, it's AI is getting annoying already for me. It's like you kind of go on Instagram and you see all these videos that are not real whatsoever, and it's crazy. Like they're getting so advanced already. I could just imagine in like a year or two, how they're
Oh
going to
my
be.
gosh,
But
yeah.
it's
It's
crazy. You
a
get on
little scary.
Instagram.
Yeah, I agree. It's what's gonna what how are we gonna know what is reality? What
Yeah.
is this a film or is it not? I guess we're just not gonna be able to tell, it seems like.
Yeah, I was looking at a page, I forgot the name of it. And I don't want to advertise it either because it's not that great, but it's just a page. It's kind of a political page, but all of their videos are just AI, and they're just slanted towards one way, where they have like fake AI videos of like police arresting certain people, and then but all the videos are just fake and they're not real. They're just all AI, and that's the whole page. That's all their videos. That's it. And so it's like
Wow.
that's all they do. It's like the whole ICE thing that's going on, and like the war and Ukraine stuff, but they're just all AI videos, and they're obviously slanted one way. And So yeah, I was looking at it the other day, and they have like over 500 posts, and they're just all AI videos of just nonsense. And it's like, wow, a lot of people are subscribed. And I guarantee a lot of them think it's all real. And
My God.
yeah, so that's how that goes.
Yes,
So I was
truly
like,
disturbing, truly worrisome.
yeah,
Yes, this is the kind of thing I think we're going to have to sift through. And in that, in my upcoming book, the N-1 sessions, this what these beings are saying and giving some guidance as far
yeah.
as.
So that's where we're gonna transition to there. I guess so. The N1 sessions kind of gave us a little bit of a background of how that whole thing came about, the process of you kind of jumping into that, how the book came about as well, and just kind of how you got started with it.
Yeah. So after what we were talking about before happened, I just, and I have some training in, I guess you'd say, psychic work or spirit communication, like learning how to stay grounded and cleansed when you move into this. And so I was able to, start a line of communication with this source, whatever it was. And I met a being known as N-1, who was sort of a leader of this group. And I'm told that they're from Orion, from the outskirts of Orion. And so I just started having these sessions where I was sort of meditation sessions where I would let these beings speak through me or write through me. And the material just started accumulating. And that is what this upcoming book, the N-1 sessions, that is goes through the seasons, starting in summer and ending in spring. So there's several essays for every season.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, I mean, was there kind of what was the time frame kind of on those whole kind of communications? Was that prior to COVID, during COVID?
No, during the pandemic. Yeah. During.
Yeah. So, like I said, for a lot of people, it gave them a chance to kind of, react.
Yeah. And I think that's how it came together, because I had the time,
yeah.
I was available, and I was able to sort of sift through this. So I guess the timing lined up pretty perfectly with the first the experiences and then the communication, and that's how it all came together.
Yeah, and it's safe to say that if we all weren't kind of sitting at home not doing much of anything, that you probably wouldn't have channeled that or even heard any kind of messages, stuff like that. Because I mean, obviously, people got their own kind of shit going on every day to work and back, and family and kids and all that kind of stuff. So COVID, like I mentioned, was kind of a blessing in disguise on one end, obviously. But
yeah, thank God for pandemic unemployment. That's how this work came through. Yeah. And I was lucky that I check on my mom, who was elderly, and she's since passed on. But I would go do that. I would see some friends like in parks and stuff. But I live alone, so I don't have any kids or anything. So I was truly available to receive this material and to sort of translate it. So that's the timing, just with seeing those visions sort of at the end of 2019, and then pandemic happening. It does seem like it was predestined, I guess you'd say.
Okay. Yeah. And so I guess, you're getting these messages and you're channeling the information. Now, is it more along the lines of kind of like a guidebook for humanity? Are they warnings, or what's
no, I'd say it's more relaxed than that. It's sort of seasonal essays, seasonal reflections. It's much more of a relaxing read. I think it's for the general reader, especially if you might have an interest in metaphysical things or consciousness or new age or extraterrestrials. So it's just sort of a reflection about many different topics through the different seasons. In the voice in the N-1 sessions, they have a great respect for seasonality and being in tune with nature. and they encourage us to do that too. So I think it's an interesting journey. It was for me receiving it and sort of living with it for a period of time. Yeah, so it's sort of like it has the energy. Not that I'm comparing it to this, but it sort of has the same feel. Not comparing the quality or anything to this, but of that book, The Prophet. The format is similar to that. That it's just small chapters and reflections on different themes and different subject matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So kind of one thing that I was looking at. So I guess, can you kind of explain what the concept of like planetary quarantine means, and, you know, kind of that whole process there?
Sure. So early on in the N-1 sessions, the source talks about that our world, our planet, because of a long time ago, different beings from the stars were interacting here when we were, you know, I think our species was a little more primitive, a little more less evolved, I guess you'd say. And because there's a groups of beings who were sort of our teachers, who had good intentions for us, wanting us to teach us to exist on our own and develop our abilities, etc. And then there were other groups of beings who didn't have the best intentions for humanity. And because of that, if there is some greater council in the universe, that the planet was put into a quarantine to sort of as protection, but maybe protection for both, you know, us and any sort of, if we were going down a bad path of war and violence, etc., that it was to protect both sides of the coin, perhaps. And so that's what is meant by the quarantine. But they also communicate that the quarantine is being slowly lifted.
They're finally letting us out of the cage, because it's,
yeah,
you know, it's one of those things you always hear from people, where it's like, you know, the reason why aliens never visit us is because blah blah blah, and, you know, we just can't get out of our own way, and there's always some kind of war going on, and, you know, it's,
well, but I would say that they have been watching, and they have been interacting as allowed, sort of slowly, respectfully, with respect to our free will, through all and again, some of it is not physical, much of it is not physical, that it's energetic, through things like these experiences that people have, this wild diversity of different experiences and interactions. And it seems like it's ramping up from my point of view.
right. Yeah. I mean, I guess, does that kind of lead into a bit of, you know, obviously you mentioned like the quarantine. Now, another thing that I was kind of curious a little bit about was the book kind of discusses the masquerade of modern life. You know, what does that kind of mean, I guess, in practical terms? It was kind of an interesting little kind of
Sure. Yeah. That it does in that chapter called The Masquerade, and it does reference sort of like the modern life as a masquerade. Particularly, it was talking about the pandemic. Not saying that the virus wasn't real or anything. They're saying, yes, this is very real. This is very much a danger, but that through media and through different forces, and I think we all saw this, how people were kind of pitted against each other ideologically, whether you want to talk about the medical side of things, or the just there's so many things that people were at each other's throats, particularly on things like social media or online and things like that. Just like a very, very divisive culture was building, and I think it's still going on. So that's what that chapter, that rather brief chapter, explores and touches on.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fortunately, it's, social media helps a lot, kind of makes the world seem a lot smaller. But at the same time, it completely destroys entire, you know, people, it destroys people online, it destroys entire ideas and just all kinds of things, which is unfortunate. But
Yeah. There's this game.
depends how
There's
you
this
use it.
game that's attached to it. There's this
Yeah.
interesting this phenomena of one-upmanship and sort of
Yep.
It's not civil debate most of the time. It seems like it's pretty volatile debate a lot of the time.
Yeah, it's just seeing who can say the most hurtful thing first, just to kind of tear the other person down.
Right, to smack the other person down.
Just
Yeah.
to win.
Yeah, it's almost like the Roman
unfortunate.
Colosseum or something.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. I go on like Instagram sometimes, and I late at night when I should probably be asleep, but I'll just be scrolling, and then I just see people under like a video of something like really bad happening, and then I just immediately to the comment section just to see and it's never lets me down. Every time it's just nonstop action.
I know, right?
People just talking craziness to each other, and like if things that like if nobody would ever say to your face, because if you did, like you'd probably be dead, or they'd
right. It's so easy
beat you up or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so easy to say hurtful, horrific things when you're just at home typing it in, and then you don't feel the emotional repercussions on any level.
Yeah. Well, the physical side of it handles, most of it, obviously, like speaking to somebody in any kind of manner like that in person would never end well. Obviously,
yes,
people, it would be, will go after you and whatever. But like, I always thought, I had like a funny thought for years, is like when it came to social media, and like the amount, how many, or like the amount of people that have just been sitting on their shitter at home have been responsible for the collapse of society. Like how many of those people have just been sitting at home on the weekends while they're taking a crap or something, and they're just responsible for whole movements around the world. They're just destroying things.
You could do that now, you could absolutely start a movement while you're on the shitter. Yeah, I think you can do that.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy stuff like that. It's
yeah, so like first of all, I guess we got to get off the shitter, and maybe tune into the quality of our conversations a little more. I don't know what it's going to take, though. I don't know what can be the catalyst of that. I think that, to me, the exciting part is the more aware we become, the more we're going to have the power to shut this negativity down. And, just so real communication can happen. Yeah. So it does feel right now. It feels to me that it's an exciting time for people to come together again and just sort of start from scratch.
Yeah. I catch myself a lot. I don't know, over the last few months, how many times I've seen something, and then I have the same reaction as everybody else. Immediately, like, get angry about something, just run to the comment section to respond, and I'll type it out, and then I just sit there and look at it, and just like why? Like, I'm not going to do anything. Like, nobody cares about what I have to say. It's not going to change anybody's mind.
How much is making that post? How much is that going to drain you over a period of days? Or what is that? What's going to be the outcome of that? Sometimes I guess we have to. I don't know. I guess I'm trying to just use the social media or the technology just for inspiration. I guess you say, mostly for inspiration. And
that's the only thing. And like I said, I'll catch myself right before I hit send. I always stop and kind of read over what I was writing, and then think about the context of why I was responding. And I'm just like, what's the point? Like, do you really want to sit here for another 3-4 days and like rebuttal with everybody that's going to come at you.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so I'll just erase the whole thing. And never mind. I'm not going to do, it's just like, there's no point. It's just, if there's not, like, they don't care. Nobody cares. They just want to talk shit to you back and forth. And, it's like, all right, whatever. So I stopped myself, but I don't know. It's weird, but it's unfortunate. That's, like you mentioned, there's, we're all kind of pitted towards each other, and obviously algorithms show you a set of videos that I know you don't see on your end, but I see on my end because of interest that we have and what we kind of search up. And I didn't realize how prevalent that was until I spoke to somebody that had a different viewpoint on something that I was kind of speaking with them with. And we were kind of comparing social media timelines and algorithms, and like their algorithm was completely opposite to what I had on my stuff. Like they didn't see any of the videos that I had seen, and I hadn't seen any of the videos that they had seen.
Yeah.
So it just pits you to get it like against each other. And
yeah, doesn't it seem like it's designed that way, right?
Yeah, that's the whole point. Yeah, they just show you what you're interested in, and then I kind of sat back because I work in the tech space, so like I'm cybersecurity side of things, so I kind of understand AI and algorithms and stuff. So then I realized like it makes sense. Like that person only sees what they want to see. I only see what I want to see, and I don't see any of their information. They don't see any of mine. So there's no cross of like understanding like, oh, this is what you see and why. It's just completely opposite sides, and it's go to war, and that's it. So that's how it is for everybody.
We're all in our own little matrix. It
pretty much
feels like. Yeah.
And it's like those videos only get recommended to the people that think exactly like you do, and then they all fill the comment section with the exact same stuff that you want to hear. So you all just kind of reaffirm each other's ideas all day, and you're just like, yeah, well, not like I'm not the only one that thinks this. The whole world thinks like I do, but it's not. It's just people that think it's just kind of like a little group of you,
and and that's and this has come through. This has come through in these sessions. That how important it is right now because of what you were just talking about to reach across the aisle, even if someone you have different political points of view, you don't agree, but to just as a human being to recognize them and to communicate into that things don't get so that groups don't get so isolated, that the right and the left or whatever it is, or that we don't become so divided,
polarized.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate. I mean, I can remember a time, I mean, I'm sure you do as well, where like nobody ever gave a shit about who you voted for. And even if you told anybody like you guys were still friends, or like you could still talk to people that didn't agree with you, and it wasn't a big deal. Like it was just not something that anybody cared about. Maybe they'd kind of like, you voted for who? Like, oh, that's whatever, that's dumb, or like that guy's stupid. But like besides that, it was just something that somebody would say like as a joke to you, and you guys were just cool. But like now, like whole families don't even talk to each other anymore. It's just like, it's like, what are we doing, man? Jeez.
There's so
never cut anybody off.
Families not talking to each other, friends since childhood, or I have that. I have those challenges going on in my life, with different folks too.
It's very unfortunate. And people like you said that I've known my whole life that like don't talk to me anymore, like family too, like extremely close family. And like I don't know, like I don't understand like what's going on.
Have you experienced that from like some of the from this podcast, like some of the ideas that you share on this?
No, because we don't do kind of politics as far as like mainstream politics. We kind of deal with like a lot of the government kind of behind the scenes kind of stuff. But when it comes to like voting, we don't politic for anybody. Like And even if stuff like that comes up, it's not something that, that I want to do here. Not because it's just a lot of like noise. And then you start getting emails from people and it's like, I don't want to deal with this. So I never say anything like, oh, this is who I voted for. It's never any of that kind of stuff. But we still, just because of the very nature that of the stuff that we cover on the show, like it's a lot of government information and like military stuff. So we kind of run down those rabbit holes, but it's never like an endorsement of like either side of anything.
Right.
I don't get into that kind of stuff. I personally, I like in my own time, I do. And that's why I have a lot of issues with like family members and have been fired from jobs because of certain things. And it's that whole thing sucks, but like I never speak about it on here or anything. It's not fun. It's just not interesting. It's not interesting at all. Like, I don't care who anybody voted for. I don't care your religion and who you marry and who you have sex with. And I don't give a shit. The only thing I care about is if you got my back, if something happens, I got your back. We're Americans. Let's go. Like, whatever. But besides that, I hate everybody equally. I don't care who you are. So it's all good. It's all good with me.
Good. Well, there you go. You're living your truth.
Yeah, I'm a pretty funny person, I think. It's not like anything, but it's just one of those things. Like, I don't hold anybody above anybody else for whatever reason. Like you guys are all the same to me. I don't care. It's all good. Yeah, so it's all good. We'll see what happens. I mean, this time right now, it's crazy, like in the news, obviously around the world, but like things are going to start ramping up, and next year's, I feel like it's going to be another one of those times in the world where like it's going to be a little crazier next year. I don't know.
Yeah.
Midterms are coming, and 2028 is coming. So.
Yeah, it feels like some interesting things are going to happen. Crazy as well with the global situations. Yeah, and I'm hoping that more of the good stuff we were talking about earlier, more of the communication and the reaching out and the dialogue. I hope that keeps happening more and more.
Yeah, it definitely needs to. I mean, you put this book together now. Is there plans for like a series? Is there kind of a jumping off point for something else, or where you kind of see yourself leading down?
Yeah, I think we'll see. If there very well might be more books coming, both from the fiction end of things and the nonfiction end of things. The story from the first book, Flying Saucer Visions, I want to continue. And then as far as the N-1 sessions go, those keep coming through. So there'll probably be something else in the future. Yeah, there'll probably be another book of some form coming through, I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of a big believer of like speaking things into existence. So, good thoughts and good messages out in the world, have a chance to influence people, no matter how small it is. I mean, if you could just reach one person, like that person might be able to reach somebody else. And then that person kind of reaches out to 4 other people and you have a snowball effect. And
yeah,
it could just be the smallest interaction with anybody, just don't be a dick and like smile and say something nice to somebody. And it can kind of, like I said, snowball onto somebody else, and maybe they're nice to somebody else. And, it all helps,
Yeah, I think that's how it's going to happen. Just like one person at a time. And then, then word of mouth, talking about different stuff, interesting stories, interesting experiences and everything. Yeah. And then it's like you said, snowballs, and then it becomes bigger and bigger. That feels like that's the way it's probably going to happen.
Well, it needs to happen a lot faster than it's been going. Like I mentioned, we're getting into a crazy kind of period. Midterms are coming. That's always fun for some craziness, something always happening. And then, obviously every 4 years, the elections happen, and 2028 will sneak up on us. It seems like it's so far now, but, like a year before those elections happen, it starts getting crazy again. And
Yeah.
we've got Senate seats coming up here in Texas, and there's a whole kind of thing going on here, and it's just nonstop. You gotta unplug. I mean, I was heavily invested in like the 2020 elections, just kind of watching everything that was going on. And then once that was done, like I just completely unplugged from the whole thing, and I don't watch any kind of news whatsoever anymore. And it's just too much, man. It makes you kind of sit back and you start thinking about things that you don't want to think about, and it gets you like hating people for no reason. And it's just like, I'd rather go touch grass outside and see what happens after that. But yeah, it's rough. It's rough.
It is truly rough. And yes, it's can really trigger me as well. I know that. So I try to stay informed as quickly as I can, I guess you'd say. And then I try to avoid the rest, just like you.
Yeah. So that's like another quick question for you, I guess, kind of on a personal level. There is like, obviously you're studying and like going down the whole medium path as well, like in your personal life. Do you have to safeguard yourself from, I guess, I would think that like emotionally it would hit you harder than most other people, right? Like you kind of have to put up walls and barriers for that kind of stuff. Cause I mean, being sensitive, it would seem like it would hit you harder than most.
It certainly can. I can be very, sometimes I'm someplace I'm just like, I have to get out of here now. Like I'm picking up something, or I'm getting all, and it might not be me, it might not be me that I'm picking up on, or something's triggering me maybe. But I think that I've learned over the years, especially the last few years, to really how to stay detached and how to ground myself. So I'm a little, that I don't go down that path so much. And if I need to get out of an environment, I'll just do it. It's there definitely is. There's definitely a need for firewalls, as you said. And that's something I'm still mastering. But yeah, it's I think for anyone who is sensitive or who works with this type of energy or this type of information, that it's good to have some techniques that will help you remain buffered or protected from any kind of outside influence.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it'd be wise for you sometime in the future to put a course together and teach people how to do that online. It's like,
that's a possibility
that'd
too.
be great.
I thought about that. Yeah, that's a great idea. So that might be coming too.
Yeah, because a lot of people online need it, man. I swear. Like I catch myself doing it to myself, and I'm just like, I don't need this shit right now. Like, let's just delete everything that we just typed and just go about your business. And I catch myself every day, especially at night. And you're kind of laying in bed, and it's just like, nah, I don't want to deal with this. Let's just go to bed. And like,
yeah, well, you live in nice warm. You live in warm Texas, so you just go lay on your lawn, give it back to the ground.
Yeah.
Before you go to bed, give it back to the earth.
It's wild. Yeah, it's great. It's crazy. We'll get there. I'm trying to drag other people along with me in that kind of mindset as well. I have a lot of people that I know that whether it's in person or online, man, it's just 0 to 100. Like each time they get angry about something, it's like I just stand back or get out of the way, because it's just gonna go off. So we gotta try to help people with that stuff as well. So, I don't know. We'll see, but it's definitely gonna be a fun time. So all right there. Well, I mean, Chris, I really appreciate the time that you took out to hang out with us on a Friday.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. And if anyone wants the book, my website is berrymanbooks.com, and you can order, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, anywhere books are sold. The N-1 sessions is available.
Yeah, definitely. We have all the links to both books in the show notes. So Facebook and Instagram as well. berrymanbooks.com, like you just mentioned, we'll have those linked as well in the show notes, and all of our Instagram and kick and everything that we do, we'll have all those links posted as well. So if anybody is definitely interested, please hit the show notes for those as well. But yeah, I mean, like I mentioned, I appreciate you hanging out on a Friday night. I hope it doesn't get too crazy cold out there for you guys, which I'm sure you're used to already. But stay safe out there, stay blessed, and I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Paul. Thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun.
I appreciate it. Have a great one. All right, everybody. I appreciate you guys hanging out on a Friday evening as well. Yeah, so early on in the show when we first started, we were having audio issues. The mic was having issues. So I know I was kind of speaking and giving my whole introduction spiel and nobody was hearing what I was saying. So I do apologize for that. We got everything sorted out. So yeah, like I mentioned, Berryman Books is his website, berrymanbooks.com. We'll have the link to his Facebook, Instagram, and both books as well in the show notes. So be looking out for that as well. Appreciate you guys hanging out for today. We have a show coming back on the 16th of December. Our friend Leo Zagami, man, that dude keeps pumping out books. So that Tales of Illuminati kind of series that he had is done. Obviously, he was on for the last book, but now he's jumping into a whole nother series. So he'll be back on the 16th to promote that as well. So be looking out for that. Yeah, so like I said, the 15th, I'll be hitting the big 4-0, which is sad and kind of cool, I guess, at the same time. But 15th, we'll be doing that. So we're just having a good old weekend here, hanging out. Hope everybody's getting ready for Christmas. I hope everybody's going to stay safe and not too much traveling. We're traveling for Thanksgiving as well. And that was pretty crazy. The holidays are always rough. So if anybody's traveling and they're going to be out of town and going back home, whatever, hope everybody stays safe as well. I appreciate that. Everybody stopped back in for the show. Like I mentioned, we have been gone for a long time. And if you guys are followers of the show, you know that happens quite frequently. But like I was mentioning to Chris, this isn't like, I don't do this as a job, right? So I don't get paid to do this. So it's kind of rough to like put guests together and put shows together and kind of do it consistently. I am the only one that runs this whole kind of setup. So for me, it's kind of a lot of work to do as a hobby, but I enjoy it, especially when it's something that a topic that I enjoy and that I want to speak about. I'll do it, So I do appreciate everybody's patience kind of hanging in there. I know it'd probably be best if I was like doing more consistent shows. Obviously, that'd be great. Like I said, it's just me. So it takes me it's like a whole process for me to get things up and running. I got to reach out to guests and check availabilities and see if they can come on and put the show together and do all the marketing and then like freaking promotional stuff and Instagram and X and putting stuff together. So I really appreciate you guys hanging in there. So we're going to try to get you guys some good shows popping up as well. And Leo Zagami is going to be the next one. And towards the end of the month of December here, the end of 2025, it's going to die down again. But once January hits, we'll be back up and running. So I'm going to try to be a lot more consistent. I'm going to try. I really am. So I really appreciate you guys. But yeah, so I guess we'll see you guys on the 16th for Leo. He's going to come out with his book. And we'll have a great discussion with him about that. Like I mentioned as well, I like to give a shout out to the Spiritual Awakening International, just for them allowing us to become an affiliate for them as well out here in Dallas. There's a few of us, but they're all over the world, like I mentioned, here in the US. And, if you guys have any kind of stories about near-death experiences, it runs the gamut of like mystical experiences, psychic, intuitives, Kundalini awakenings, if you guys have that as well. Inspired creativity from near-death experiences. Obviously, we hear a lot of stories about near-death experiences, and then people come back and all of a sudden they can speak Japanese, like when they never knew how to do it, or they're really good at math, or they become geniuses and they know how to paint all of a sudden or write music. So that's the kind of stuff that they do there. After death communications, STEs, exceptional human experiences, like just all that kind of stuff. So, and like I mentioned before, they have a wing of it where they deal with veterans as well, for guys that were deployed and they had near-death experiences, or they're just having trauma issues. They deal with that aspect as well. If you guys want help getting connected, reach out to me. I can get you in contact. I can go with you to one of their group meetings, and we can sit in there and you can tell your stories and all that kind of stuff. Or if you just want to talk to me about it, I know the military experience. I know what it was like to get out and all of a sudden lose that sense of purpose and just kind of sitting with your thoughts alone, when nobody understood you or understands how you feel afterwards. Like, hit me up, man. Like, shoot me an email. I'll get in contact with you. We can talk, jump on a call together, whatever. But don't sit with your thoughts alone. If you guys are having problems, reach out to anybody. If you feel more comfortable doing it with another vet or something, call me up, hit me up, email, whatever, and we'll work through it. So Spiritual Awakenings International, I have the link to their website down below. If you want to get in touch with them as well, we can have our little sit down meetings there. But yeah, appreciate everybody hanging out. Like I mentioned, as always, if you guys aren't already subscribers, please consider smashing that subscribe button as well as the bell icon so you guys don't miss an episode in the future. Also, don't forget to smash that like button. That really helps us out with the algorithms. We're all over the place: Spotify, Google, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, at Truth Defender Podcast. If you guys love what we do, as always, consider sharing the show with a friend, family, colleagues, anything. Christmas is coming up. I'm sure they'd love to hear some of the topics we discuss on here. I hope everybody didn't have that crazy of a Thanksgiving, with the family and stuff. But yeah, questions for myself or our guests, guest or topic recommendations, always thetruthdefender1776 at gmail.com. Hit us up on X. You can find us on Kick as well, Instagram, Rumble. It's where we have the biggest following that we have is on Rumble. They've been cutting my episodes here on YouTube lately, and subscribers. We had a lot more, and for some reason they all just kind of disappeared. But whatever. Yeah, links to everything in the show notes down below. I appreciate you guys hanging out. We'll see you guys on the 16th with Leo Zagami. Have a great weekend, everybody, and I'll see you next week. And as always, remember, God, family, Texas. Have a great one.